I first came to Chet's in 2010 when I moved to Jacksonville for college. In 2012, I was hired part-time as a ministry assistant to one of our student pastors, Jon Moody. I still remember the first time I met Jon. He was wearing pink Converses because pink was his favorite color, and he had a pair of lederhosen hanging on his door. That pretty much tells you everything you need to know about Jon. I was hired to help with admin work during the week, but it didn't take long for Jon to start trying to recruit me to serve with middle school students as a life group leader. At the time, I had never worked with middle schoolers, and I was already volunteering in preschool ministry, so I thought I had what was a pretty good excuse to say no. But Jon didn't give up. By that spring, he'd roped me into helping with Wednesday night refuel. Then I ended up as a leader at Thrive and summer camp later that year. I still have a card that Jon wrote me after one of those events that says in all caps, "I still want you to be a life group leader." He was nothing if not persistent. Jon passed away in 2013, the Sunday before I began serving in my first middle school life group. But I fell in love with teaching students God's word and doing life with them, and it quickly became clear that the Lord had given me a passion for student ministry. I continued serving with Chet's students for the next 9 years. In 2021, God opened a door for me to take a job in social work, working with struggling kids and families in our community. But after a break from student ministry, I began leading 7th grade girls again in 2024. During that time, the Lord reminded me how much I missed building relationships with students and leaders. When the associate student minister position opened at Chet's, I began praying about whether God was calling me to pursue it or not. I wasn't unhappy where I was, but I couldn't ignore how clearly the Lord was orchestrating things in my life. I applied, and in August I was hired. 13 years after my original hire date at Chet's, I stepped into a role once held by Jon Moody. Many times over the years, I've thought about Jon and wished that he could see how much he impacted me and how much I've fallen in love with student ministry, all because he kept pestering me to serve with middle schoolers. I'm so grateful for his encouragement and influence in my own life. Summer camp was one of Jon's favorite weeks of the year. I've had the privilege of taking students to camp every single summer since 2013, and every year I'm amazed at how God moves in their lives. Camp creates a space for students to encounter Jesus in powerful ways. When you give to Pink4Jon, you make moments like this possible. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for investing in our students and kids, and for honoring Jon's legacy so faithfully.